pleasure that you could be a part of this afternoon's bulletin. It's streaming live on Facebook. Our handles 3FM927 as well as on Twitter. Same handles 3FM927. I am Eric Mawuena Egbeta. We'll begin on the labor front because the unionized staff of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation is to withdraw its services within 5 working days. According to the union, the controller and accountant general has deducted between 600 to 1,200 cedis from their May salaries following a directive from the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission to the Controller and Accountants General. Now, listeners would recall that about 2 weeks ago, the Executive Director of the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, in a letter to the Controller and Accountant General, says upon payroll audits conducted on the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, it had realized unmerited salaries and allowances paid to the workers, hence demanded that they cease the payment while asking that the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation refund the over 2 million cedis paid in illegal allowances to the staff. Well, today, local union chairman Sam Natkevo, while addressing a news conference, said staff will be left with no option than to withdraw services if the salaries are not reversed.
In spite of all these efforts, the CEO of Fair Wages, Mr. Ben Arthur, still went ahead and directed the Controller Accountant General Department to remove the allowances of GBC workers. We have been patient with government on the low levels of salary drawn by staff after placing GBC on a single span salary structure. We have executed and continue to execute our duties nonetheless. This is certainly not the time to rip us of what is due us. If government cannot improve our condition of work and living condition, we must not make our already deplorable situation worse off as is enshrined in labor law. Ladies and gentlemen, in view of this situation we find ourselves, we wish to announce a roadmap towards a full-blown indefinite strike. Thank you! In view of the situation we find ourselves, we wish to announce a roadmap towards a full-blown indefinite strike. Thank you! Thank you! To begin with, from today, Friday, 2nd June 2023, all staff will come to work either in red attire or wear red bands for 1 week. If nothing positive in terms of restoration of the removed allowances occurs, the union will begin an indefinite strike.
Not Sam Natkevo, he's the local union chairman of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, addressing that news conference a short while ago. Daniel Opoku is Labour Affairs correspondent. He joined us on the telephone line pretty shortly with some more details, and so we can get an understanding of exactly what the situation is. But like I was telling you before we heard from Sam Natkevo, the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, in that letter to the Controller and Accountant General, demanded that they cease the payment of the allowances to the staff of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation and that some 2 million cedis which had been paid already be refunded by the company. And then the Union of GBC subsequently addressed a news conference where they, amongst other things, threatened to embark on an industrial action should their May salaries suffer the deductions. Well, it appears that salaries did suffer the deductions, hence the announcement of a roadmap to begin industrial action at the state broadcaster. And Daniel Opoku, he's Labour Affairs correspondent, he'll join us pretty shortly with some more details. In a not so similar context, however, the Pensioner Bondholders Forum, they continued to picket at the Finance Ministry today, despite ongoing meetings between their leadership and the Finance Minister. The group yesterday resumed picketing at the Finance Ministry following what they say was government's failure to meet all their demands, which include paying them their principals of every investment. Now, during the protest, however, Deputy Finance Minister Abena Osei-Asare intervened, pleading with the pensioners to return home for an engagement today.
I sincerely understand and appreciate where you are coming from. This has never happened where coupons are ready for payment or are due for payment and government has refused to pay. But currently, we all know the circumstance in which we find ourselves. And I'll plead with you, let's sit and clear the five. And then we'll see the way forward. So respectfully, let's meet tomorrow, discuss this and look at the long-term payment for the principal. We were given the coupons that were outstanding that we needed to pay. And then we are in talks with Bank of Ghana. Then I believe that from Monday, you would see some payments being reflected.
That's Abena Osei. She is a Deputy Finance Minister. Stanley Niblo is my colleague. He is at the Finance Ministry now. Let's get some more details from him. Stanley, any update from the meeting as organized between the Finance Ministry and the leadership of the pensioner bondholders?
Okay, so Mawuena, I can report that this members constituting the bondholder association actually went back to the Finance Ministry again to engage the Finance Minister on the payment regarding ways to get their payments about some arrears regarding their coupons and then their principals. So they were seeking to meet the Finance Minister himself, but today when they went into the meeting, it was rather the deputy that rather engaged them. And so the outcome was that the Finance Ministry had actually agreed to pay from Monday going. They will pay the 5 coupons that are in arrears. And then also, they have also pledged to pay all outstanding principals within 2 weeks. And so that's what transpired at the ministry. And then another thing has to do with the fact that the government now is pleading with the bondholders, the leadership of the bondholders, to give them their coupons without any interest. So the coupons, the leadership that went into the meeting was not actually enthused about what happened, because they said they cannot take decision for the entire membership. And so on Thursday, all the bondholders, the members constituting the association, will go into a meeting to meet the Finance Minister himself to also appeal to the group whether they would accept the payment of the delayed coupons without the
accompanying interest,
without the accompanying interest. So that is what has been taking place at the Finance Ministry today.
You spoke to the convener of the Pensioner Bondholders Forum, Dr. Edwan Anienchi. What did he say after that meeting?
So for them, they are giving, in the past, government had given similar assurance, which the government later did not heed to own up to their own words. And so that eventually prompted this recent picketing. And so for the convener of this association, for him, he's looking forward and giving government the benefit of the doubt. That was the assurance he also gave to the members that he is actually convening. And so they are giving the government the benefit of the doubt to ensure that immediately, when I say immediately, starting today after the meeting, the government would actually go into another meeting to facilitate processes to ensure that everything, the assurance that they've given to the members that had actually made them retreat from the Finance Ministry, they will heed to the assurances, so that from Monday, June 5th, they will begin to receive monies that are owed them.
Right, then that's Stanley Niblo. Let's just take a listen now to Dr. Edwan Anienchi.
5 coupons are outstanding. Those coupons are going to be paid immediately. They will start the arrangement from today, so we believe by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we would have seen it. For the principal, the ministry is asking for 2 weeks to pay all the outstanding principals. The first one is outstanding for 102 days now. So principals that has been outstanding from February 20th up to 29th May, they are going to pay that within 2 weeks. We were asking for interest on the delayed principals, since we needed that money to reinvest and get our return on our investment for our sustenance. The ministry is pleading that we forgive the interest. We consider the interest, and we have said that we can't give any answer to the minister now, the deputy minister now. So we have agreed that Thursday the bigger group will meet and hear the ministry, and if they are able to convince the wider group that we should accept the zero interest for the delayed payment, then we take it from there. And they are going to give us a plan for the payment of subsequent maturities and subsequent coupons. And if that plan comes out, we will be using that plan to test whether government is following the plan. If the government doesn't follow it, then of course we would decide what to do next.
That's Dr. Edwan Anienchi, speaks for or is the convener of the Pensioner Bondholders Forum. Daniel Opoku has joined us on our top story this afternoon, where workers, unionized staff of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation have announced a roadmap to withdraw their services. Daniel, what more have they been saying at this news conference?
Hello, Mama.
Yes, I'm asking, the workers say they will lay down their tools. Is it the case that just the salaries, or they are seeking to have the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission or the controller have their monies given back to them?
Okay, well, so if I hear you clearly, you wanted to find out what so the workers are also saying after the directive by the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. Basically, if you could recall, when the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission presented a letter to the ministry, to controller, to ensure that all those who benefited from the so-called illegal allowances, controllers should do the deduction. Now, this month, the month of May, when, according to JBs, when they received their pay slip, they realized the deductions have been made, where some have lost in excess of between 600 to 800 Ghana cedis. That's for the junior management, junior staff. And then from the senior staff, others have also lost in excess of 1,000 Ghana cedis, amounting to about 33%. And they have asked Controller Accountant General and the Fair Wages Inspection to ensure that those anomalies are corrected, that those who have lost the allowances are refunded or are paid back, or else within a space of 1 week they are going to display red armbands. Every staff is expected to wear red attire. Then beyond 1 week, then obviously they are going to lay down their tools.
And so what happens between now and then? Just the wearing of red armbands at the premises?
Exactly. So from now till next week, then every staff of GBC across the country should be wearing red attire, and the rest will also be displaying red number to register their displeasure. And usually, when you do that within a space of a week. Then beyond 1 week, so within the period that you are displaying your red armbands, wearing the red attire, then continuous engagements are being done. Because when you listen to the leadership of the workers, they said for them they are ready to continually engage the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. And there was also the question about whether their management, that the management of GBC is very much aware of the purported action that they have intended to take. And they are saying that the management is very much aware, and nobody is likely to stop them. Because in their previous meetings where they met, the Minister of Information and IE management also took part in the meeting. All those meetings did not yield any fruitful results. So basically, within this week, that's what they'll be wearing. Then beyond 1 week, they are likely to drop down their tools. And when you are dropping down tools, in the case of GBC, because it's a media house, most of them, they run these technical divisions. They may have to go ahead and shut the technical divisions, shut most of the equipment from working across the country, and that will be extremely difficult for the listeners of GBC.
Right then, Daniel Opoku is Labour Affairs correspondent, providing details there for us. We're taking you up north because the police have arrested several people and are pursuing others in two separate operations in connection with the violent attacks on Mempasem and Lukula communities in the Savannah region and the subsequent attack on the Daboya police station. Several youth of Daboya reportedly attacked the police station in the community in protest against the arrest of 3 suspects linked to the violence in Lukula and Mempasem. The 3 were said to be part of a gang that stormed the Mempasem community and Lukula on May 31 and June 1st, visiting mayhem on the inhabitants, killing 1 person in the process. Angered by the arrest, some of the youth of Daboya reportedly mobilized and launched an attack on the police station, vandalizing police vehicles and other property. Christopher Mawuena Egbeta is joined us on the telephone lines. Chris, talk to us about the attack on the Daboya police station and the arrests made so far.
Yes, so Mawuena, yesterday after the Lukula and Mimpiasam incident, police and military were deployed to the two communities to ensure calm returns to the area. Now, the police were able to arrest some 3 persons, and the 3 persons are said to have sustained some gunshot wounds and receiving treatment at the Damango Municipal Hospital. So, when the youth of Daboya heard of this arrest, they besieged and attacked the Daboya police station, vandalizing some properties. Now, around 2 a.m. Today, the police and military also stormed the community, arresting some persons. Now, we are told that several of them have been arrested and are supposed to be transported to the Northern Regional Police Command.
And what about the security situation in the town? The indication earlier was that a lot of residents had fled the area as a result of had fled the area. Beg your pardon, as a result of the violence which broke out there.
Yes, so if you go to the Daboya community as we speak, the security operatives are still there and the place is a ghost town. There is no male found there. I spoke with a chief who told me that he is also seeking refuge in the bush, and so it's only females and children who are now left in the Daboya community, because once you are a male, you are arrested by the security personnel in relation to the vandalization of the police post. But with regards to the Lukula and Mimpiasam community where this incident broke yesterday, some relative calm has been restored. The men who fled the community yesterday, some of them are beginning to return to the community again. But the issue of food, water, and other basic amenities is something that is of concern as it stands now, because the entire community was set ablaze yesterday, and several of their food commodities have been lost.
Right then, Christopher Marco is our man in the Savannah region, speaking to us about the situation there. And so some part of the area continues to be a ghost town, and security presence has restored calm and order while they continue to pursue others in hope to arrest them. We'll engage the thoughts of security analyst Emmanuel Coutinho as well and get an understanding of the recurring conflict in the area and why it continues to be a difficulty to deal with it once and for all. Working the telephone lines to speak to him, but you're listening to the news here on 3FM 92.7. We're streaming live on Facebook. Our handles 3FM 927, same as Twitter, 3FM 927. Our top story for this afternoon, amongst many things, staff of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, the unionized staff there, they've announced a roadmap to begin nationwide protests because GBC has extensions all across the country to have staff lay down their tools following deductions between 600 and 1,200 cedis of their salaries as a result of a payroll audit carried out by the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. We brought you that story about 2 weeks ago when the executive director, Engineer Ben Arthur, amongst many things, declared some of the allowances paid the staff there as an end, and asked the Controller and Accountant General to cease payment and have staff or management rather of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation to refund over 2 million cedis that had been paid already to the workers. We've also been bringing you details of the continuous picketing of the pensioner bondholders at the Finance Ministry despite a meeting which was ongoing today. That meeting has ended and the government is asking that the pensioners forfeit the interest payment on some 5 outstanding coupons yet to be paid by the government. There's a meeting scheduled for Thursday next week with all of the pensioner bondholders so as an agreement can be reached. But While we work the telephone lines to connect you with security analyst Emmanuel Kuti, let's take you to the central region, because voters in Asin North say they are not moved by sudden developmental projects in the constituency ahead of the June 27 by-election. Their projects have commenced in the constituency with abandoned road project already asphalted. The development has sparked concern from some analysts who raised similar challenges with activities by the government as witnessed in the Kumawu by-election last month. For residents there, though, they are not perturbed by the new string of development.
We are not kids in this town. We know the level of development prior to the elections. They have neglected us for long. If the NDC presents Kwesi 100 times, we will vote for him 100 times. They have sat down until a by-election, and if they think this is the best time for road construction to start, we welcome it, but we will decide on the election day.
So the residents there, the governing New Patriotic Party, meanwhile, is today vetting two of their party members who picked up nominations to want to contest on the ticket of the party in the by-election in the area. The two, Charles Opoku, a 40-year-old miner and runs an NGO there, whilst Frederick Freeman Amoache is an entrepreneur and a former teacher of the Wesley Girls Senior High School, and they are both promising development and a better life for the people of Asin North. We'll connect with Thomas Khan. He's our correspondent in the area pretty shortly for some more details in relation to that. On politics, we're staying on politics because all appears not to be well in the Ketu North constituency, a stronghold of the opposition National Democratic Congress. That's because delegates there yesterday staged a protest raising concerns over the decision by the national executive of the party to affirm Ede Magbana as the winner of the primary held there. Yesterday, the group, amongst many things, staged a protest to demand that a re-election takes place. Eric Mawuena Egbeta spoke for the concerned delegate.
We feel like the party at the national level is imposing a candidate on us instead of allowing the democratic process to take place or to take its course and giving us the opportunity to elect our parliamentary candidates and not to select for us. We, the concerned delegates and loyalists of the party, are stakeholders. We demand that the National Executive Committee looks at their decision again. Let the rerun be done for the delegates to choose the parliamentary candidates. This unprecedented declaration has created enormous political tension within the rank and file of the delegates and party faithful. There is an e-scam in Ketu North NDC, and this will blow back in our faces.
So that's Mawuena Egbeta Kwame, Enoch Mawuena Egbeta speaking there for the delegates. Komla Kluche, he is the head of political desk here at 3FM and TV3, is joining us on the telephone lines with some more understanding as to why the tension is continuing to mount in the Ketu North constituency more than 3 weeks after that decision was taken by the executives of the party. Komla, what really is the situation, the trouble in the Ketu North constituency?
From my understanding, it appears that the national executives did not really go down to the root cause of this. Yes, it was an election primary that they decided to come in. The Electoral Commission declared that there was a tie, and the tie for that matter meant that there should be a rerun. But the reason why these individuals who on the delegate are agitated now is the fact that they appear very unsatisfied. In fact, a day after the National Executive Committee or that special committee took that decision that Edem should be the one to represent the constituency, because that represented, according to the committee, the will of the people, the other candidate did not appear satisfied about it. And in fact, from my my understanding, there wasn't enough consultation done about this. And so now it puts the constituency actually in a certain position where if care is not taken, it does appear they may face, for instance, a skirt and blouse vote when it comes to 2024, if this matter is not addressed properly. If you look at it traditionally, in terms of where Edem comes from and where his main contender comes from, they are from the same area, which is the Afife side. The NDC gets majority of their votes within the Ketu North area from the Georgia side, or what we call the Avenos side. And that Avenos side was the one that about 3 or 4 people contested for the same slot, which Edem and then his main contender had to compete for. But they lost out of it. The agitation is coming because they feel very unsatisfied, especially with the way and manner in which, one, the votes were very close, and two, the fact that they realized that a lot of competition had gone on regarding this. And you can also not discount the fact that there's some regional executive undertone in this as well. What I think is necessary for the party to do now is to be able to sit down with them, especially the aggrieved party, and then have a proper dialogue, or else what the NDC risk is, of course, it is impossible for the MP to win that seat. But what is possible is the fact that Kofi Jamesi, who is the chieftaincy, the former chieftaincy minister, and also the chief executive of the Buipa Authority now, he has been the one standing on the ticket of the NPP in that constituency. If he is able to pull a lot in terms of standing again when it goes to the 2024 elections, the NDC will be in trouble. Of course, it will be difficult for him to win. But what it is that many of the Georgia side people who are the Aveno side, they may be voting skirts and blouse. And so the NDC may have a difficulty to be able to attain the figures that they want if care is not taken in this matter. And so I think that it's a matter that the national executive will have to look at again, if it's about, appealing to them or maybe coming to a compromise on this so they are satisfied that but I do not also see them backtracking on the decision to make Edem the sole candidate to actually contest. In fact, the other candidate may not be able to go as independent, but he appears very dissatisfied about it. In speaking with him a couple of days ago, he said that there's a lot of things on his chest, but he's not going to be able to speak about it now. Maybe he's been impressed upon not to, but it appears that this is a boiling situation that a party needs to deal with.
Right, and that's Komla Kluche is a parliamentary affairs correspondent and head of the political desk here at 3FM and at TV3, providing a lot more nuance to the conversation in the Ketu North constituency. And like he's mentioned, it continues to be a boiling point for the opposition National Democratic Congress, where that part is a stronghold for them. That's it for this afternoon's edition of the news here on 3FM 92.7. As always, a lot more news if you log on to 3news.com. I am Eric Mawuena Egbeta. A pleasure that you could be a part of this afternoon's bulletin.
One of the things that this program also is in the document, that we are going to restructure Kugumon. How can Kugumon be almost bankrupt when all they are doing
A very good afternoon to you, and thank you for joining us on Business Daily. My name is Nana Ikuamensa Brampa. Coming up this afternoon, government to pay 5 outstanding matured coupons and principals owed members of the Pensioner Bondholders Forum from Monday, June 5. No activity on the bonds markets despite several weeks of treasury bills under subscription, and government's gold for oil program not responsible for the reduction in petrol prices. That is according to the Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors. We have all the details in the next few minutes. Please stay. Thank you for your time. Let's get to the details now, as there still remains no activity on the bonds market despite several weeks of treasury bills under subscription. Government has missed its T-bills targets for 3 consecutive weeks and intends to raise about 2.8 billion cedis today. Lead researcher at GCB Capital, Courage Boti, is hopeful government will be able to achieve its targets this time round, and will be monitoring the treasury bill markets and giving you more updates subsequently. Again, government has scheduled to pay 5 outstanding matured coupons and principals owed the members of the Pensioner Bondholders Association from Monday, June 5. However, the Finance Ministry will meet the entire association on Thursday to determine the fate of interest in the coupons that are yet to be paid, and we'll also keep tabs on this particular one. We'll give you more updates as and when. And talking about fuel prices and the fact that it has increased by some few pesos from 14 cedis 30 pesos to 14 cedis 45 pesos at the various pumps, the Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors, Patrick Ofori, says although government's gold for oil program has been innovative, it cannot be responsible for the reduction in petrol prices. Speaking in an interview with Free Business, Mr. Ofori said current developments on the world market have largely contributed for the decline, and he also lauded the Bank of Ghana's auction of dollars to bulk oil distributors. Renowned economist Kwame Pianim has warned government to stop raising money from the international banks to finance cocoa beans purchases. This follows concerns by the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, that cocoa board's quasi-fiscal activities have become a major burden on the company's finances. Mr. Pianim tells Free Business the practice must immediately cease.
One of the things that this program also says, a document, that we are going to restructure cocoa board. How can cocoa board be almost bankrupt when all they are doing is taking money and buying cocoa from the farmers? Maybe we should restructure and then forget about this idea of borrowing billions of dollars in anticipation of cocoa sales. We should syndicate cedis from our banks to buy our cocoa so that the income from marketing cocoa accrue to our banks domestically, not to foreign banks who are giving us dollars. When it comes to the most efficient body in Ghana to raise money, dollars for us, it's the Bank of Ghana, not Cocoa Board. We don't appoint the directors of Cocoa Board for their expertise in borrowing foreign exchange for us. So let's go back to what we were doing before NDC rushed us into this idea of borrowing foreign exchange to buy cocoa. We don't need foreign exchange to buy cocoa. We can do it domestically.
And that was renowned economist Kwame Pianim there. Now, the Deputy Director, Finance and Administration at the Ghana Tourism Authority, Ben Anani Insia, is urging all Airbnb operators in the country to ensure they acquire the requisite license to operate. This, he stresses, is to ensure that standards in the hospitality sector are protected, and subsequently we'll be giving you more updates in this particular one. But that's it for Business Daily this afternoon. You can log on to 3news.com for more. My name is Nana Ikuamensa Brampa. Have a good afternoon.
Accra gets busy on this frequency. 92.7 3 FM.